Hello, Glitzers, and welcome to the PopGlitz.com Entertainment Podcast. Our panel today consists of the Glaminati, and that's the pop culture extraordinaire, Tiani Spears. How are you?
Oh, this is wonderful.
Great. And Tiger Lily of TigerLilyRocks.com. How are you, Tiger Lily?
I'm great.
And, of course, there is myself, JaVonni Brustow. I am the owner of PopGlitz.com. So now that you all, you two laughing girls over there, recovered from the pre-show, are you ready for the actual taping tonight?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, very good. So you all are aware that there's a small village of women that comedian Bill Cosby has drugged and essentially raped, allegedly. The most recent one would be former fashion model Beverly Johnson. She was the first black female model, I believe, on American Vogue. And she came out saying how, you know, she's the latest one in the list who claims that Bill Cosby drugged her. And a lot of people say, well, she's accomplished. The woman has money. I don't necessarily think that she might be the most credible of people, or as credible as some might think. Do either of you happen to know any of Beverly Johnson's history?
I know that she said that she had experimented with drugs and things in the past prior to her encounter with Bill. So that's how she was able to determine that he had drugged her cappuccino.
She'd already had experience there.
Yeah, so I, for one, was one of the people that felt that she had no reason to lie about it. She never said he raped her. She said that he attempted to, get, sexual with her while she was under the influence. I think that one of the common denominators in this is just the use of drugs and basically like date rape type of situations that some of these women could have gotten themselves into. I don't believe that he raped all of these women. No, I do feel that drugs were involved. With some of these women unknowingly, were under the influence of drugs. I don't believe that he raped all of them. I do believe, the stories involving the actual drugs, though.
Now,
and then we have
how many women is it?
It was like the 70s.
Don Lemon interviewed 6 women. And I think in total, what is it? It's like dozens or something.
Probably.
Isn't it like 35 or something now? I don't remember. It's so ridiculous.
It is at least 15.
Say it again?
It's at least 15.
Oh,
it's over 15 now.
Yeah.
Is it over 15 now? Are you sure?
Yeah, it was 15 2 weeks ago.
Come through.
This I don't understand. I mean, why is it, again, the common denominator is that he drugged all of the women? What reason is it that you have to drug everybody, and scores of women, before sleeping with them? I'm personally convinced that I think that he must have, like, the smallest penis in the world, and he just doesn't want anyone to see it if he has to do that before every person.
And I don't know if it was because a lot of them were uncomfortable because they were saying, where's your wife, Camille? Like in one of the stories, his wife was home, but she had gone to bed or something, and, this woman was still in his house. And, I'm starting to wonder what her role was in all of this, honestly.
Right.
Like, how is all this happening under your roof? I know that they have money and everything, but I think I want to see pictures of how big their house was back then. Like, that she's just not aware that your husband's, like, drugging people and humping them and throwing them like he threw, Beverly Johnson out the house. Well, with Janice Dickinson, they weren't even, they weren't home. They were out of town. I forgot where he said that they were, or where she said that they were. But with her, she messed up by her speaking because she's a crackpot. So, of course, nobody's really going to believe her, even though she did come out and say it a few years back. She did come out and say that he, was a horrible man, but she was basically banned from writing about it. So I mean, I definitely feel that she was hanging out with him and that he might have, given her drugs against her will. But with her reputation, she's not really a good witness to anything.
Honestly,
throughout all of the 80s. I don't think she remembers the 80s. I don't think she remembers the 90s.
Well, I don't think she remembers her time on America's Next Top Model as a judge. Listen.
I remember it.
Oh, girl, me too. Okay, at first, when these allegations came out, I'm like, okay, firstly, why now? Why, 35 years later, all of this is, coming out? And then I'm like, okay. Then Janice Dickinson said, I'm like, okay, well, this may not be true. This is Janice Dickinson we're talking about. But when Beverly Johnson, I'm like, okay, this is the first black woman on Vogue. This is the first black woman on Elle magazine. She's done a lot in her career, and she's highly respected. I can't recall hearing anything too negative about her. And, for her to say it, I'm just like, okay, what if all of this is actually true? And now
here's an interesting thing about Beverly Johnson. Just a few years ago, she was a Kenya Moore before there was Kenya Moore. She had paid this man to pretend to be her husband, at least according to court documents. And he came back and said, the agreement was that you were supposed to pay me to be your husband, and you haven't given me anything. And he sued her for $5 million because she didn't keep up her end of the bargain. And then a couple years later, when he refused to leave the house, pay up. You're not going to pay up, so I'm not going to go anywhere. So she calls, I think, an ex-boyfriend to come over and hold him up at gunpoint with an agreement in hand saying, sign this sheet of paper. I'll give you, I think it was $2,000, and I don't know, a couple $1,000, something like that, to get the hell out of my house. So we don't hear very many people having those types of ridiculous stories. Also, Beverly Johnson's only worth $5 million. At least that's what's reported. And generally, a person's celebrity reported income is inflated. How she managed to have this groundbreaking career X number of decades ago, and that is the amount of money that she has, I don't know. So I think that there's a possibility of maybe doing this for some type of financial gain. But she's only had maybe a handful of television appearances, maybe 7 or 8 in the last 10 or 12 years. So I think that's another angle to take on this.
Well, do we think that Bill Cosby did any of this?
I do.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And, there's just a hell of a lot of fire. A hell of a lot of smoke.
I think that he definitely drugged them. I think that a few of them could have been actual sexual assault and rape cases. Now, I don't feel that he raped all 30 or however many in that village that JaVonni was talking about, but I do feel that there's definitely a lot of truth in it. And for him to always be so self-righteous and act like he's just, like a perfect man and pretending that he's Cliff Huxtable in real life, I just think that now the spotlight is back on him and it's in a negative light, and I just want to see how he explains that away.
And it's such bad timing because he is about to go on this big worldwide, well, I'm not going to say worldwide, but this statewide comedy tour.
Well, then he got booted from Spelman as of today. They've pulled their seat from him, and a lot of the other colleges or universities have also done the same thing. He's like losing his seats on boards and things like that now. So, he definitely still has some supporters from the videos that I've seen of him, having appearances. He gets a lot of applause from the crowds, but then I mean, with all of these other accusations, I can't help but think that people only just go just to see him make a fool of himself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I don't see how people can support him at this point because there has to be some type of truth to this. I can't see all of these women getting together, you know, having a secret meeting like there's an Illuminati or something and say, let's just take down this 80-year-old man that's like, you know, he can go at any minute. Like, who would do that?
There are people who feel that, you know, there's some type of a conspiracy, at least in the sense that he's made so many comments about black people, and many of which that I actually had kind of agreed with as far as the responsibility part. But, you know, when you comment on others, you have to have your own stuff together.
Yeah, so. And none of us do, so therefore we really can't comment on a lot to that extent that he has towards our people. And the condescending way that he's done it is my thing. Like, there's a right and a wrong way to address, you know, our communities, and the way that he did it was in a condescending way. It wasn't from a place of caring. You know, you can tell when someone cares about you. They don't talk badly about you. I mean, I think I remember seeing a speech where he was, like, talking about what people name their children and things like that. And, you know, like, that, to me, that's going a little too far because there are people, you know, with those names. And though I might name my kid Shaquasia or anything like that, there is somebody with that name. And, you know, like, how dare you tell someone what they should and shouldn't name their child and basically make fun of it. I just think that he's gone about things in the wrong way, and I'm kind of glad that he's under fire now. I know he's old, but I really don't give a damn. If you come at people wrong, you definitely better make sure that, you know, your ass is covered. Otherwise, all your demons are going to come out.
Which they have.
It's been decades that, you know, a lot of these women have waited, and there are people who laughed about it because they said that it just doesn't make any sense. Why didn't you say anything about it when this first happened way back then? Beverly Johnson said that she was afraid of, I mean, for one, at the time, being on the Cosby Show would have been a huge career boost for her. And for one, she was afraid of sabotaging her career. She was afraid of, she had stepped out to say something, she would have appeared to have been an attacker of black men, and he's also a powerful man at that. I mean, even though I have taken my jabs at, like, Janice Dickinson, I do believe that, I mean, if by chance that it is true that rape is not anything to make light of. And sometimes I do believe that it takes other people to come out about it for a person to feel comfortable to express their own experiences. And I feel that that's what's happened. And he's reached a vulnerable part in his career where he's not this big bad wolf that he once was, where people were afraid to come out and say something.
Because he's old now. I mean, and you have to think about it. I mean, you're exactly right when you say that. He's older now. It's like, what can you do? You know, you're an old man. You can't hurt me now. And when you think about all of the celebrities now, the older celebrities that might be in their 50s or whatever, that have gone on Oprah and said that they've been molested as children, there's so many people that wait.
Again, decades.
They wait and write a book. They write a book. It's not even that they go after the people. They're not even going after the people at that point. But they're like, my dad raped me or something. And then it happened like 30 years ago, but you're putting it in a book. You're not going to the police or anything. So for people to say, why didn't you come forward then, people grow up and they face their demons in what way that they can. And even though this is not the same situation, what you were saying, Vonnie, about basically when people hear someone else, you know, sharing their experience, it makes them want to. I've suffered from panic disorder. I suffered from it very severely for probably, I had done it for like 2 years. I only have little anxiety here and there now, But for those 2 years, I was debilitated by that, and I was ashamed. And, you know, in the black community, you can't really talk about things like that because people think you're crazy, or, you know, you definitely can't say I'm seeing a psychologist. You know, like back then, I was just afraid, and I just distanced myself from my friends and family because I was so scared of how my body was reacting to these things that aren't real, basically. And now, after talking to people, even at work, perfect strangers, it's just like something that's just normal for me to talk about, when before it was so taboo to me. You know, I suffered with that for years, and I think that's why it became debilitating, because I wasn't speaking about it. So I can understand how someone can hold something inside until someone else speaks out about it, and it's like, hey, it's all right for you to say this. There's support here for you, because I've been through it too. So now people like Beverly Johnson are probably like, I'm not crazy. He did do this to me. You know what I mean? So for us to ignore it, now there might be a few in there that nothing happened. They just probably were ashamed that they slept with a black man or something like that. And you know that that's how it was back then. That was taboo still with some, you know, some circles. So I just think that we shouldn't take it lightly. I don't feel that they're all lying. You know, I would never say that. And I think it's terrible that so many women are backing him to the point of calling another woman a liar. But if it was your mother or your grandmother who came out now and said, you know what, this man raped me when I was younger, whether it was Bill Cosby or whoever, what would you say? Why would you would you tell your mother, why did you wait 30 years to talk about this? Who would do that? You can't. We are not in charge of what somebody else's emotions are. So I definitely feel that there's some truth to it now. How much of it is true, I don't know, but there's definitely something that's not right with him.
Yeah, and I mean, and it takes a lot to admit something like that anyway. And even if it were for attention, how many people, I mean, to put yourself in the position to come to the public and admit that you have been raped is probably not, is not someone's best moment. And to accuse someone of doing that, you know, for attention, I think that's pretty low. And then when Don Lemon made his remark about, he said, you know, there are ways that you can, you know, that you don't have to sleep with someone, that you can stop a rape. Well, I didn't know that he had so much experience.
Don Lemon makes all of the gays look bad.
Talking about, you know, you could have bit him. Okay, all right.
You're drugged.
I'm at a loss for words. I don't know, Mr. Lemon. When you're in that scenario, and then you can say something like that. Again, they were all intimidated by him, you know, by these stories, you know, because he was obviously a huge celebrity and powerful person in the black community at the time. That okay. You bite someone like that and find out what might happen to you, I guess.
You're really
right,
going to
you
get
better be prepared.
Yeah. And on a lighter note, the rapper B.O.B., what is his name?
Oh,
Bobby
yes.
Bobby Ray
Simmons. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
He introduced us to what he likes to call Eggplant Friday. Last week, he took a picture for Instagram of two eggplants on the counter, two very large eggplants on the counter. Apparently, he was going to cook a salad or something, and he was standing there in sweats. And can someone else describe this? Describe.
He had a dick print on his sweatpants.
Bobby Ray Simmons was on the Instagram in his kitchen with two purple eggplants on top of the counter. And he was looking in his phone while he had someone else take a photograph of him in his sweatshorts. And if you look closely enough, you saw something saying, peekaboo.
I don't think you had to look very closely, and I think it's a little more than...
didn't. I looked directly at it before I saw the eggplant. I was like, whoa.
Wait a minute, because look, I was like that too. I was like, oh, Eggplant Friday. And then my friend commented on it. She said, and he has the nerve to have actual eggplants on the counter. I was like, girl, I didn't even see those.
Yeah, my store didn't either. I was like, oh, man.
I didn't even see those. And now B.O.D. has his Twitter account, his Twitter followers went up, his Instagram followers went up, and believe it or not, his sales on iTunes went up because he jumped from number 200 on the list to like 178.
Wow.
Do you know that BuzzFeed said that Eggplant Friday is proof that God is a gay man and or a straight woman? Praise you and your horny self.
I saw that. I cannot stand BuzzFeed sometimes. You know what?
Is defined by Urban Dictionary as a popular social media hashtag where men with large penises take pictures of their bulges through sweatpants, which resemble an eggplant.
Listen, it wasn't through the sweatpants on some of them, because I went through that thread early Saturday morning about 2 a.m. and I was like, OMG.
Let me tell you.
And, you know, a few years ago, I think it was in 2012, when Rihanna got in trouble for taking a topless photo on Instagram, they deleted her Instagram for the first of what would soon become like 12 different deletions. He threatened to delete his Instagram over, you know, he's like, he was in solidarity with Rihanna. He said, you know, we're not going to have nude images. I don't need to be on here. So I guess we may not be able to see nude images on Instagram, but he definitely found a way to bring his point across.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Pun
but I am okay with that. But that was not 2 years ago when Rihanna. That was actually earlier this year when Rihanna got when her account got deleted.
And her account deleted like several times. But this has been going on for a while with her.
Has it been several times? I thought that the first time it got deleted in May was
absolutely not.
Oh, wow. Come on, for Rihanna pushing the boundaries.
And let me say this. So on the French search engine Quant, I believe is the name, the top trending topics were Golden Globe Awards, Kobe Bryant, Republican Party, Nicki Minaj only, and Eggplant Friday. So he has officially hit mainstream with this one.
I'll be checking again this Friday.
Me too. I think that D.O.D. has found himself a new fan base. And I think that that's good.
He might direct a porn or something.
I'm waiting for Trey Songz. I'm hoping Trey Songz does one on this Friday. August Alsina, come through.
And
we needed Eggplant Friday because we had Titty Tuesday, Thick Thigh Thursday. You know, we needed something for us.
Taking Back Tuesday. Oh yes.
Fail. And what's with everyone in the Eggplant Friday reaction video or their reaction photos that everybody took at once? Like it was the 2 girls in 1 cup video. Like that's the last time I ever saw someone have that many reactions to something.
Eggplant Friday is just, thank you, B.O.D.
Chris Brown.
Unlike some people, though.
No, hold on. Now, Chris Brown, you know, he just let it all hang out for Twitter or wherever that was leaked. We've seen quite a few celebrity leaks, but when was the last time that we saw, and B.O.B. wasn't even, Bobby Ray was not even naked. Like, when was the last time we saw something like this turn into a trending hashtag?
Oh, God.
Much attention.
Oh, wow.
I don't recall.
Me either, actually. That's actually something that I would have to think about. I don't know. Wait, well, for the girls, I mean, you know, there was Nicki's Anaconda album, single cover art. That took off a little bit, but, I mean, she was in a bikini for the most part, so, yeah. I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to do some research on.
I don't know. I think, so my advice is that I think that we need to have a follow-up to Eggplant Friday, so I'll be trolling around seeing if he's going to do another one next week.
I'm definitely going to be staying tuned to see if anyone is going to do one next week.
No, I think that he raised the bar. In fact, I heard that B.O.B.'s, that his Eggplant Friday made August Alsina's look like camel toe. Remember his? Does anyone remember that?
No.
I don't think I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I saw it.
I didn't see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, it wasn't. Oh, I mean, now if it was important, you would have seen it and you'd remember it. See?
I like
you see the power of Eggplant Friday? He's raised the bar, and that means that no one else should be doing one unless it's on the same level. Now, do you remember when Soulja Boy, that he took a similar picture? And,
yeah, I do remember that.
And then people made fun of him because they were like, oh, oh, it's cute. And then he goes and, like, stuffs the air freshener bottle in his pants.
I do remember that.
And, yeah.
I used to have a big crush on Soulja Boy.
Yuck, he's hideous.
Back when he first came. Well, you have to remember, we're the same age. And yeah, I was, you know, when he came on with Great Day Soulja Boy, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. Don't really like this song, but he's so cute. And I'm like, okay. Who is he? Soulja Boy. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he looked like a monster when he first.
Word Up magazine was still out, and I would go to the store, and I would get the Word Up magazine, and I would take all of his pictures, Chris Brown pictures, and I would put them on the wall.
Picture Jesus.
White Jesus.
Fix it, Jesus.
White Jesus.
Now, the BET Honors will be coming up next month, I believe.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was February. Am I wrong?
Is it February? I think it's January.
I think it's February.
I think that it fluctuates. I think that it was February this year, but I believe that I saw it was January next year. Tomato, close enough.
I'm going to
now, one person who did not get the humanitarian award this year, who happened to get it last year in 2013, was Halle Berry. Now, you all remember that she sued her husband, or ex, whatever, took him to court for bleaching her child's hair and perming his hair, her daughter's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only reason why I can think of for her not getting a humanitarian award, I mean, is it a reason to take your ex to court? And she also was dropping her child support by like 80-some%, from like 17,000, I think, down to 4, something like that. That really sounds like a humanitarian. I mean, if any, to get the award one year and not get it then. In fact, I think they should go and take back her award that she got before for being so hideous to her child and to her ex. I mean, just 12 months ago, she said that she's a humanitarian because she feels like she can relate to children who grew up in broken homes and who grew up in troubled households. Well, what do you think that you're doing? But I mean, not only did she sue the ex over bleaching her hair, she ordered a forensic test, like as evidence, after he said he didn't do it. If that's not like an insane household, I have no idea what is.
That's just having too much money and time on your hands.
Oh, how much it pays to be rich.
Yes. And for the big winners for next year, it looks like Kanye West won the Visionary Award.
You know what?
Any objections?
No, I don't have any. I don't. Personally, I don't. Simply because, despite the fact that Kanye West is Kanye West, meaning, and when I say that Kanye West is Kanye West, it means that he has these little tantrums and he goes into these kitty modes where he's just going off for no reason. He's like my 5-year-old cousin who's upset because he can't have any candy. And, but other than that, I personally think that Kanye West is one of the best rappers that we have in music today. And I think that he's very talented. I do think that he's a visionary. Being that when he first debuted, he recorded, I'm not sure if he recorded the entire album, but I know he did that one song with his mouth wired shut. And, that's just, when I heard about that, I'm like, that is absolutely amazing. Like, it doesn't even sound like his mouth is shut at all. I'm like, this is amazing. Who is this guy? Like, after that, I'm like, okay. And he did 80, and I remember being in school, and everybody was talking about Love Lockdown because he was getting ready to release 808s and Heartbreaks, and they're like, this is not the Kanye West that, we're used to listening to, and I don't think that this album is going to do too well. And Kanye, just basically shot himself. But it came out, it debuted at number 1 with over 400,000 copies, and it earned critical acclaim, and it's influenced artists like, it's because of that album that Drake is able to be Drake, and The Weeknd is here, and we have Kid Cudi, and, all of these other artists doing hip-hop music like that. I do think that Kanye West is a visionary and a big influence on a lot of artists today. So, yes, give him that award. Just don't let him bring Kim with him, because I'm not here for that.
He finally whined enough until he got a significant award. Now, the issue that I have, it's not so much with him getting the award, but the other people who won, who won these awards next to him, who were similarly honored, were Felicia Rashad, the chairman of Microsoft, the director of Smithsonian's Museum of African Art. I find that list of names kind of odd for him to be up against. But
why?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't really see Kanye West and the chairman of Microsoft sitting next to each other or having two of the same awards.
Halle Berry sat next to T.D. Jakes last year, so
in the flames.
I think that anything is possible here. Cicely Tyson sat next to Jamie Foxx one year. I don't know.
I think if anyone's deserving of an award, it would be Felicia Rashad. She's the only person with a vagina who did not have any of Bill Cosby's magical.
Why did I know that you were going to say
Hello
that?
Pudding.
That's why I started laughing. Why did I know that you were going to say that? I can't say this. Usher also gets an award.
Sidebar, did anyone see South Park did a Bill Cosby episode?
No.
Yes. Bill Cosby drugged Taylor Swift.
Oh, no,
and they started singing, "Baby, There's an Assault Outside."
Oh my gosh, I can't take this.
They seriously there.
Baby, there's an assault outside. I quit.
Of course, you know the letters and the complaints came in, but it's South Park. I mean,
I didn't know that South Park was still on.
Do you think it's?
I haven't watched it either lately.
I've never actually watched it.
Do you think the Bill Cosby episode was wrong for the baby is an assault outside?
I mean, from what I know about South Park, because I've never really watched, I only hear about it. They do things like this all the time. It's like they live for controversy. Controversy is going to happen when it comes to that show. So I'm not going to say that they're wrong because they're keeping it current by talking about the current events that are going on. Like that, I guess that's how you know that it's the people behind it are they're quite aware of what's really going on today. I mean, I do remember reading about a Lord episode a couple of months ago. I didn't know if that was just something that they put on YouTube, but okay. So South Park is still on. Interesting.
Yeah, I had an AIDS episode where this kid hated his parents, and he brought this woman in off the street who had AIDS, and she would wash and shower with his mother's washcloth and brush her teeth.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah, so if they could do that, they're capable of anything. So some of the bitching and moaning I heard about, I was like, whatever. This is totally normal for them.
Basically.
Now, Beyonce and Jay-Z met the royal couple, Prince William and Duchess Catherine, at the Met this week.
Can I cut you off for a second?
Yes.
Because both of you guys are right about the BET honor. The thing is, it's taped in January, but it airs in February. So it'll be taped on January the 24th, and it'll air on February the 23rd. I just wanted to point that out because, you guys are trying to figure that out. You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Exact.
Thank
you. For getting that. I knew we were close. Yeah, because it's a whole month of reporting that I remember on that, so that makes sense. So again, Jay-Z and Beyonce met the royal couple, Prince William and Duchess Catherine, at the Met game this week. What do you think those four talked about? What could they possibly have in common?
Well, let's be honest. When it comes to the world of music, Jay-Z and Beyonce are like music's royal couple. And you have the actual royals of the UK here in America. So me personally, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is epic. This is like when Michael met Diana. I wasn't even born for that, but I wasn't born for that, but I heard about it and I heard that it was amazing. And in fact, I do recall Michael doing an interview when he was like he was shy with meeting Princess Diana because Dirty Diana had just came out, and she told him that Dirty Diana was her favorite song, and I'm like, that would have just been amazing. I think Prince William and Jay-Z talked about their love for music, and I think that Prince William stated how much he probably enjoyed listening to Beyonce, and I think Beyonce probably told Kate, how much I love your style, and I think they share numbers.
I'm pretty sure they didn't talk about combing the children's hair.
Well,
we know they didn't talk about
Prince
Beyonce
George
had nothing to add to that discussion.
Prince George doesn't need his hair combed. I don't think he has any like his father, but you know what? I'm just gonna sit here.
Jay-Z
I think they bonded.
Yeah, Jay-Z sharing stories about his hard knock life and Marcy projects, and Prince William day that he went downstairs in the castle and picked up, like, day-old tea. I don't see it.
Come on for day-old tea.
Why are they sitting, like, front row at the Met, at the, what is the team name again? You can tell I don't watch sports.
I don't know the team name. Is it the Mets?
Tiger, do you know the team name?
Is that the name? I don't know.
Yeah,
honestly, I kind of forgot they were at a basketball game. I don't
understand why they're still in the front row. Like Jay-Z sold his stake of the team over a year ago, and it was never that much anyway because he used to brag about, and everyone would talk about him being a part owner. He owns something like 1/5 of 1%. I mean, what is that? And especially for them to be like the richest entertainers, something like that, and the top of their game, 1/5 of 1%, doesn't sound very royal to me to be meeting with the royal couple. But
what about you, Tiger Lily?
I'm not really into the royal couple. I don't really. I think their son is cute, but I've never really been into royalty to where I'm like, oh my God, these people are amazing. I mean, they eat, sleep, and shit like everybody else, so I don't see why they're just so untouchable to where it's like, oh my God, Beyonce and Jay-Z met with a royal couple. Like, who cares? I don't know. I just want to barf whenever I see them.
See who? Beyonce?
No, the royal couple.
Oh.
I'm not into royalty, like I'm not into putting people on a pedestal higher than the rest of us are. I mean, you guys know I'm not even really I don't even really care for the presidential stuff either. I mean, I understand that that's their job and everything, but I'm not going to worship you.
No,
people worship the royals and they just no, honey.
The royal couple is going to go back with a gift from LeBron James. He gave them both jerseys.
I saw that, and I saw that there was a lot of hysteria because he put his arm on her, and they were trying to say that that was wrong, but they ended up getting someone contacted, I forget which news site it was, and said that it wasn't against policy, that they were having a good time and, there was no harm done. Because I guess all of the people were just, freaking out, oh, my God, he touched her, it's inappropriate, and whatever. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I get irritated with it. They're people.
Once you go black.
Oh, God.
But it was the jersey.
You got the black touch.
Catherine is going to go back to the UK, and she's going to ask her husband to put that jersey on and give it to her in some Timbs. Watch.
Listen,
watch my words.
She's going to want her Eggplant Friday.
Oh, my God.
She wants her Eggplant Friday in her LeBron James jersey with Prince William and
while she's on the phone with Beyonce.
That's right.
Wow.
Asking her about Jay-Z's Eggplant.
Such a big ego. Oh, man.
Yes, that's probably the other thing. What could those two be talking about? Are they in the back measuring egos?
Oh, Eggplant. And her man got the banana.
No
That's
money.
what they're talking about. Your man don't got an eggplant. He got the banana. Nobody wants a banana, honey.
And I want to thank you all for joining this week for this episode of the Glaminati Podcast. Tiger Lily, thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And Mr. Spears, thank you for joining as well.
Well, you're welcome.
Tune in to popglitz.com for more entertainment news, and we will see you on next week.
Bye, guys.